Good evening, Niner fans. How are we doing tonight? Yeah, you know what? I didn't expect to be talking about kickers tonight, but here we are. Tonight we're gonna lead off the show talking about breaking news that happened a couple hours, about an hour or two ago. You know what though? I did kind of call this. I'm not gonna say that I called this move particularly, but last night on Instagram Live, I said, you know what? I feel like the 49ers have one more move in them. I said, don't be surprised if they maybe go after a kicker. Although I thought it was going to be Ryan Suckup. But anyways, how are we doing tonight? It's Friday night. And you know what? The 49ers made a trade, a blockbuster trade, if you will, right? They traded for a kicker. And we're going to talk all about that and everything else. So how are we doing? Make sure you hit that like button. I'm just going to get right into it. We're going to get right into it. How's everybody's Friday night going? It's the weekend show, following up in a couple hours here for those that have a weekend. Some of us don't. Oh man, how's everybody feeling? So, obviously, if you guys have been following up with the news the last hour or two, the 49ers have traded with the Carolina Panthers for a kicker, Zane Gonzalez. They basically swap picks. It's a 2025 compensatory pick. You know what? That's nothing for the 49ers. The 49ers are the kings of compensatory picks. So really the 49ers get them for next to nothing. They are going to get compensatory picks for the rest of their time as long as John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan are here. They get coaches, they leave, and then they get compensatory picks for the coaches. They have players that come and go, and they get compensatory picks for those guys. So it really doesn't cost them much in terms of, draft value. And he's only getting paid $1.465 million, and none of that is guaranteed. So it looks like the 49ers went for the cheaper route with the kicker. I did think they would get Ryan Suckup last night. I'm not going to lie to you. When I saw that news yesterday that he was released by the Bucs, I was like, Ryan Suckup. This is a veteran. It might be the move. So I was surprised they went and got the Zane Gonzalez guy. Let's take a look at his career stats. I mean, you got to think about what are we losing and what are we replacing him with. So Zane Gonzalez, he's been in the league since 2017. He played for Cleveland. He played for Arizona. He played for Carolina. His best season came in 2021, where he went 20 out of 22 for field goals. So it's a 90% field goal percentage. Not bad, but through his career, he's 91 for 113 for an 80.5 career percentage. So he's okay. To me, this tells me that they need to still draft a kicker for competition. I still think that they might draft a kicker just for competition. But again, they're not really paying this guy a lot of money. So they went the cheap route. That's what the 49ers are doing. They're stacking their talent with solid veterans and depth pieces that are not going to cost them a lot of money. No guaranteed money going to this guy, Zane. So they still can draft a guy to compete. So that's my take on it, is they still may actually go and get a veteran kicker. So my man, S. Flood, look at my boy. He says he just picked up his keys for his very first house. Yo, shout out to my boy Flood. Congratulations. That's dope news, man. That is freaking awesome. Congratulations to you, my boy. Keep grinding. That's awesome news. I'm happy to hear that. This guy's been a follower of the channel for many, many years, and it's awesome to hear that. So good to hear stuff like that. Nia says Moody season. I still hope they get Jake Moody. I'm not gonna lie to you, but I don't know. This kind of maybe puts him out of that role. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it does. Maybe it doesn't. But again, you're not really committing a lot of money to a kicker. It just means that you're going into the draft with the kicker. You can still bring in a rookie kicker to compete with Zane Gonzalez. I would. Competition breeds success. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say he's a bad kicker because I haven't seen him kick for the 49ers, but I'm looking at his stats. He's been injured 2 times in his career in warmups. The last time he played was 2021. He didn't play last year. He suffered a injury in warmups against the Bills in 2021, a quad injury. I don't know. I don't know if I like that. But again, we'll give him the benefit of the doubt. He's 27 years old. He can kick pretty far. He has a 60% touchback. I think a 64% touchback percentage. So on 64% of his kicks, he's made touchbacks. So this guy can replace Mitch Wishnowsky on the kickoffs, which is good because I want Mitch Wishnowsky to kind of focus on the punting game. It's a different type of kick. So again, this guy could come in and be a touchback type guy, help you with your field position, and he could kick 50-yard field goals. So it gives you a little bit more range than Robbie had, and you can be a little bit more aggressive. So he just has to get his accuracy down. Now, the one thing I hope is they don't get to the point where it's a clutch situation and then you miss kicks. Because let's talk about the guy who we're going to miss. Robbie Gould. I'm not going to say he's not coming back, but I'm pretty sure it's the end of the era, unless this is like a negotiation tactic with the 49ers saying, hey, we got a kicker for $1 million, Robbie. Surely you're better than him. But I'm pretty much closing the door on Robbie Gould. I think it's the end of the era of the Robbie Gould era. This is what Robbie Gould did in the playoffs. He's 29 for 29 in field goals and 39 for 39 on extra points for 126 points in 16 playoff games in his career. Robbie Gould is the definition of ice in the veins. He's the definition of clutch. He's the definition of clutch, Robbie Gould. So if the 49ers are replacing Robbie Gould with the kicker, like, today, that we have the new Zane Gonzalez, this man's got some big-ass shoes to fill. Like, let's be honest, he's got some big shoes to fill because Robbie Gould was an absolute menace. And he was a leader. Like, it's crazy to think that a kicker could be a captain. Robbie Gould was a captain of this team. This guy was a leader. For a long time, he was our offense. Like, when the 49ers couldn't put points on the board, you knew Robbie Gould was going to get you some points. So, a little nervous to lose a guy like Robbie Gould. I'm not going to lie to you. That's why I still want them to go draft a kicker. Let's do a deep dive on Zane Gonzalez's stats. Let's take a look at his stats, okay? So his career long is 57 yards. His career long is 57, okay? And it was a regular season game. So again, he's let's break it down. In his career, he's 91 out of 113 attempts. Field goals from 20 to 29 yards out, he's 28 for 28. Perfect if it's under 30. 30 to 39, he's 23 out of 26. 40 to 49 yards, he's 29 out of 41. So when the field goes between 40 and 49 yards, he's 29 out of 41. He misses. 50 plus, when you kick a field goal 50 plus, he's 11 for 18. Not bad. His average field goal is 37 yards. His extra points, he's made 127 out of 134. So he's missed 7 career extra points. His average is 37. I mean, it's not that bad. It's not that long. It's not like he's kicking these. I know people are saying he's got a 50-yard field goal radius. His average is 37. So we'll see. We'll see. He's a young buck, 27 for a kicker. It's not too bad, but I still want them to draft a kicker. I know Val says Gold is just too much money. I agree, and I think that's why they ultimately went for the cheaper route. Because Robbie Gould, you're going to tie up $4 to $6 million for a kicker, and that is a lot of money. But again, he's clutch. We'll see if this bites him in the butt. Flood says, I feel like this could backfire really badly, and we've seen it in the past. They've had some kickers over the years that were not good, like Jose Cortez. Oh God, I hope he's not that bad. He made some bad misses, but 49ers have had some good kickers over the years. Robbie Gould, probably the best I've seen, over the years. So, going to have some big shoes to fill with Robbie Gould. So, Flood says Gould was pretty close to automatic, so he deserved to get paid, but just unfortunately not by the Niners. Yeah, Gould was getting older, but he was still automatic in the playoffs. You knew he was clutch. He had ice in the veins. Let's take a look at Robbie Gould. He's played for many, many years. That's the thing. It is unfortunate that his time is going to come, but we knew this day would come. He's a little older. So let's take a look. Robbie Gould, he's kicked 447 field goals in his career, 447 makes out of 517 attempts. That's a lot. So that man has kicked and made 447 career field goals for a career field goal percentage of 86.5. The guy has been in the league for a very long time, but he has been absolutely solid. That's pretty damn good, man. It's going to be tough to replace a guy like this guy. Let's take a look. His thing right here, though, the thing with Robbie Gould, again, he doesn't kick a lot of long field goals, 50 plus. His regular season career, 2 for 2 out of 50 plus yard field goals. So he doesn't kick them far. This guy, Robbie Gould's career average in the regular season is 34 yards. For his career with the playoffs and regular season, it's 36 yards. So his average is on par with Zane Gonzalez. But again, Zane Gonzalez has hit some longer ones, got a little bit longer, kick radius. Robbie Gould's longest kick in his career has been a 51-yard field goal. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Or sorry, his longest career field goal, that was in the regular season last year. His longest career field goal was 58 yards. He's made 620 extra points in his career out of 636. That's a lot. So Robbie Gould, man, definitely a veteran of this league, a clutch kicker that I feel the 49ers will definitely, hope they can replace with this guy, Zane Gonzalez. We'll see. We'll see. It's not going to be easy to replace a guy like Robbie Gould. So we shall see. The guy was clutch in the playoffs. So we will see. So we shall see. If Zane, says if Zane is healthy, he is very accurate. 80%. So he's a B kicker in terms of accuracy, but he does have a little bit longer field goal radius than Robbie Gould. But the thing is, we really haven't seen Zane do anything in the playoffs, and Robbie is a clutch money kicker in the playoffs. He's never missed an extra point or a field goal in the playoffs. So that's where your money out of Robbie Gould. That's where he earned his money. We'll see. I'm hoping for a competition. And I know this guy was solid in college. Zane Gonzalez, he was a good college kicker. Let's take a look at his stats here. So he played for Cleveland coming into the league. He played for Arizona State University. He was drafted by the Cleveland Browns in the 7th round. This is one stat though that you got to keep in mind, that Zane Gonzalez holds the NCAA Division I record for field goals made in a career. He was a unanimous All-American in 2016, and he was awarded the Lou Groza Award in 2016. So this guy was pretty damn good in college. So it's not like he's trash. He just was an amazing college kid. So he still started out. His career's still young. The guy was a hell of a college kicker. So you're absolutely right. Whoever said that in the chat, that this guy was a phenomenal kicker in college, right? NCAA division record for field goals made in a career. He got the Lou Groza Award. That's like the best kicker award in the in the college. So we'll see how it goes. And Arizona State was a legend. Arizona State legend. So we'll see what happens with him. I'm excited that we have a kicker here, that at least we have a kicker. And I'm happy to be talking about kickers rather than quarterbacks today. So I'm happy we got a kicker, because we didn't have one coming in today. You know how many times I've been asked what's going to happen with Robbie Gould, what's going to happen with the kickers? We got an answer tonight, and I'm happy about that. But I still think you go and draft a kicker. We'll see. I want competition. So, Big Time says there aren't very many good kickers in the league right now. I'm nervous about our kicking situation. Yeah, that is something to keep in mind, because, the 49ers are losing a good kicker in Robbie Gould. So you do get nervous because, again, Robbie, we talked about how clutch he was in the playoffs. So I'm a little nervous, but again, this guy does have talent. He can kick them far. He can, hit those touchbacks, and maybe he comes into the 49ers and can really replace Robbie Gould solid. But again, he will have big shoes to fill. The guy was really, really good in college again. So he has the talent, but he has to stay healthy because he has had some injuries in his career. And that's something that is a little worrisome. So let's take a look at this. So he came in and he was promoted to the active roster. This was when he was with the Cardinals over Phil Dawson. You remember Phil Dawson, former Niner legend? He actually came and replaced Phil Dawson. So this is kind of interesting. So Zane Gonzalez, our kicker now, he replaced Phil Dawson in Arizona, former 49ers kicker. And now he's going to replace Robbie Gould, former 49ers kicker. Dawson was good. Robbie Gould was good. So he's replaced two very solid veteran kickers in his career. And again, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. He was the NFC Special Teams Player of the Week several times in his career. So he's got some talent. You know, he was placed on the injured reserve last year because he hurt his quad during the preseason while warming up and he missed the entire season last year. So he's got some talent, but boy, got to stay healthy. That's why he was cheap. That's why he was cheap, because he was hurt last year. So. Fatty Mo says Zane is a good choice. You know what? If you look at all the free agent kickers, because let's take a look at the free agent market of kickers. This is amazing. We're talking about kickers for at least 20 minutes right now. This is actually phenomenal that we're doing this. Let's take a look at the free agent kickers, because I think you're right that this was probably the right move based on who's available right now. Again, it's only $1 million and none of it's guaranteed. So you're basically getting a guy for nothing. Let's take a look at the free agent kickers right now, okay? You got Mason Crosby. You got Ryan Suckup. That's the guy I thought the 49ers would get. You got Robbie Gould out there. You got Randy Bullock. You got, obviously, Zane Gonzalez was among them. He was the guy that we signed today. You had Brett Maher, Chase McLaughlin, and Quinn Norton. If you really look at this list, Robbie Gould, best one available, and maybe Ryan Suckup. Mason Crosby, maybe you could have got him, but he probably would have been a little expensive. And Zane Gonzalez. I don't want Brett Maher anywhere around my team. Chase McLaughlin, we've been down that road again. And Quinn Norton, I don't even know who that is. So honestly, I think the 49ers did a good job here with the kicker. He was the second youngest of this list. Chase McLaughlin being Quinn Norton was the youngest. So not horrible when you think of value, the contract, the age. The guy has the potential. He was good in college. So it's not a horrible move. And again, 49ers needed a kicker. You can still draft one and get some competition. So Edward says, did you think they were going to draft Moody from Michigan? I did. I honestly thought they would try to get him because he's, to me, the best kicker in the draft. There's some other kickers that are really good. There's actually good kickers in this draft. But I think Moody would be the best pro-ready kicker. But again, you never know with the kicker. You could be a great college kicker, and then you come to the league and you just can't handle the big league. So maybe this guy turns it around with the 49ers. You know, he got injured last year. He probably sat there and says, I want a chance to prove myself. Steve Wilkes probably knows a thing or two about this guy. Come on down. And Jose says, we're looking like the Panther Niners. We're looking like the San Francisco Panthers. The San Francisco Panther Niners. We got Steve Wilkes. We got Miles Hartsfield. We got Christian McCaffrey. We got Sam Darnold. And now we got Zane Gonzalez. The 49ers are basically the Panthers. Just like, everybody laughs about the Houston Texans taking the Niners, the Dolphins taking the Niners, and all these other teams taking the Niners. The Niners said, screw it. We're just going to take over the Panthers team. The only thing they need to bring from them is Brian Burns now, and then we'd be totally solid. If we can get Brian Burns from them, I'm a happy man. But listen to this. That's funny, actually. That is true. The 49ers are taking over the Panthers and bring them into their team. They got Miles Hartsfield, CMC, Sam Darnold, Zane Gonzalez, and Steve. They even took the damn head coach and made him the DC. 49er Panthers. I love it. Absolutely love it. Welcome to the squad, Zane. Zane Gonzalez. Welcome to the squad. Let's go. Let's go, man. I'm hyped. Let's go. We got a kicker on the team. We finally got a kicker. I'm happy. The 49ers are stacking their roster up. If you really look at it, though, the 49ers are going around this free agency very smart. They said, okay, we need an edge rusher. They added Clelin Ferrell. They added Austin Bryant. We needed some secondary depth. You got Miles Hartfield, Isaiah Oliver. You needed a D tackle. You went and got Javon Hargrave. You needed an offensive lineman. Re-signed Colton McKivitz. You went and got John Feliciano. 49ers have been knocking out every position they needed, according to everybody. You needed a safety. You brought back Deshaun Gibson. You brought back Marcelino McCurry-Ball. He's going to be your linebacker 3. Yeah, the Niners have done a very good job with this offseason. They've slowly, quietly filled their roster holes with some depth players, some guys they can bring in and develop and make them quality rotational players, on this team. If you really think about it, they lost one key starter to me. They lost Jimmy Ward, tough because he's a leader. I love the guy, but now you do have Tashawn Gibson. You can draft a young guy. Emmanuel Mosley, loved the guy, but he had a lot of injuries. You got Deommodore Lenoir, who not a lot of people want to give him credit, but he came in and stepped the hell up last year. I love Deommodore Lenoir. That's my guy. And he got better as the season went on. You got Drake Jackson ready to take a leap, just like Jaquiski Tartt was ready to take a leap. So the 49ers, they know they have young talent, just like Aaron Banks last year took a leap. They know they have young talent, and they're going to let them rise up. So I feel like the 49ers have had a good offseason, and I'm excited to see where it goes. I'm excited to see what they do in the draft, because this is setting them up for the draft. Now they know they can go get an edge. They can get a tackle. They could get a safety. They could go get a tight end and just add the depth pieces that can continue to be developed and take over players down the line. The 49ers putting themselves in a great league. You have the most talented roster still in the NFC. You have some of the best players in the NFL. Juice, you got Kittle, you got Debo, you got Aiyuk, who is ready to go crazy. We got to talk about Aiyuk soon. You got Trent Williams, Nick Bosa, Fred Warner, Dre Greenlaw, Travarius Ward. This talented roster is crazy. Half of those guys, like most of those guys, are the highest paid players in their position or have been. Core players are amazing at CMC, obviously. The core players are insane. And then you add depth. You lose depth and you add the depth. And you made your defense better by adding Javon Hargrave, who was a stone-cold beast on the defensive line for the Eagles. You make them weaker by making your strength stronger. So 49ers, to me, are killing it. And Slatty says, just joining, is the new kicker any good? He's all right. He's not horrible. He's not good. We've talked about it. He was a very, very, very good college kicker. He's kind of been, I guess the word is solid in the NFL. 80% field goal percentage. He's gotten better over the years. He has some injuries, but in college, he made the most field goals in NCAA history. Lou Groza Award. So the guy has talent. He can kick. He's had he's been a good kicker in the college ranks. He's still learning, still getting himself situated in the NFL. His last season, 2021, he made 20 out of 22 field goals. So that's pretty good. He's gotten better over the years. And he has a cannon. He can hit 50-yard field goals. That's what we want. We got a guy that can hit long field goals, and he can kick touchbacks. I think that's the biggest key of this signing is this guy, Zane Gonzalez, can kick some damn touchbacks. He can put this team in position to have good field position. He can kick those touchbacks, 64% touchback success rate. That's something Robbie Gould wasn't able to do. He couldn't kick touchbacks. He wasn't kicking the ball off anymore. You had Mitch Wishnowsky, your punter, kicking off. You don't want to put your punter in that position because it's a whole different yard ball game. Kicking punts and kicking off a tee, it is a little bit different. The physics are different. So now you have a guy that can come in and hit a touchback, put you in good field position. That's going to be good for the team. So what year is he in? He was drafted in 2017. So it's that 7 years, about 6 years, but he didn't play last year. So he played again for Cleveland, Arizona, and Carolina. So now he's coming into his 7th year, I guess, in the league. So, he's 27, not a horrible kicker, my boy. Decent. And again, they didn't trade much to get him a 2025 conditional draft pick. The 49ers get conditional compensatory picks every year. They know how to get free draft picks. It's like free for them. Late round pick, that's what they do. 49ers can get a draft pick easily. They develop these front office guys. They develop these coaches. They go sign somewhere else and become a head coach or something, and the 49ers get a draft pick out of them. They lose players every year, and they get a draft pick out of them. We're going to get draft picks out of Jimmy Garoppolo, Mike McGlinchey, you name it. The 49ers, they know they're going to get a draft pick. So a 2025 late round pick, it's nothing for them. It's nothing. It's like a ham sandwich, basically. 49ers are smart. So at least they got a kicker for nothing. And I agree. So we answered this question earlier. Should the Niners still draft a kicker? Hell yeah, they should. Still go draft a kicker. You want competition. Push this man. Make him compete. At least don't hand him the Chuck. He got 11 draft picks. If you're going to really draft 11 players, why not? Go bring a kicker. Have a competition. Let's have some off-season competition. Let's have a training camp battle at kicker. I'm here for it. I'm here for it. A training camp battle? Amazing. Speaking of training camp, it's a perfect segue. A perfect segue. Speaking of training camp earlier today, the NFL announced the off-season schedules for the NFL, their off-season workout dates, and the 49ers workout program dates were announced. So they know that the first day of off-season training programs is in April 17th. So that's just around the corner, a couple days before my birthday. 49ers first workout program is going to be April 17th. And then they start OTAs May 22nd through 23rd. That's when OTAs start. And then May 25th. And then also May 30th through the 31st. June 2nd, June 5th through the 6th, and June 8th. And then mandatory minicamp is June 13th through 15th. So we're almost 2 months away for the 49ers to hit the offseason program. So they start in May, and they go through a couple times a week for the end of May, early June. And then that middle week of June, they'll be on mandatory minicamp. Then they got that month or two off till training camp starts. And in May, also early May, mid-May, I believe, that's when the 49ers are going to have their rookie minicamp. So you're going to have the first day of off-season workout programs. The teams are going to be there and learn, get their new training schedules and stuff, meet with the team, and then they're going to have the draft April 27th. And 2 weeks after the draft, that's when rookie minicamp starts, and then off-season OTA workouts, and then minicamp in June. We're getting just around the corner. Well, we're just around the corner, ladies and gentlemen. It's exciting times. Exciting times. I was hyped when I heard about this today. I was like, okay, we finally know when things are cooking. We're just around the corner for the team to start getting cooking with everything. So after the draft, it starts to get real. They don't waste time. You get like 2 weeks, and then boom, right into minicamp, rookie minicamp, and then right into OTAs, and we're cooking, baby. We're getting there. It's getting there. Carl says, should we trade a draft pick for a tight end? I don't know if we should trade a draft pick, but I definitely think the 49ers should draft a tight end. In the third round, they have 3 draft picks. Now, if they don't trade up and they keep their draft picks in the third round, they got 99, 101, 102, absolutely should get a tight end because there's some really good tight ends. The guy I like is Kuntz from Old Dominion. The guy's a stud, man. I think you could get him in the third round. You could probably – I don't think you get him in the 5th round, so I feel like the 49ers should absolutely – go and try to get a tight end in the third round because obviously the talent drops off a little bit, but this year's draft class is good. So you can still get a guy in the 5th round, but if I'm the 49ers and I keep my third round picks and I don't trade up, I'm taking a third round draft tight end with one of those 3 if we don't trade up. And Kuntz, to me, is the guy. I really like that guy. So to me, obviously, I think the 49ers should go edge, OT, tight end with their first 3 picks. Maybe a safety, depending on who's available. You go best available talent. But if it's me, I'm going OT, edge, and tight end. So David says, thank you for your service, Robbie Gould. I miss that guy, man. The guy was so clutch in the playoffs. I just hope it doesn't get to the – I'm not even going to say it because I know I'm going to say this, and you guys are going to say I jinxed it. I just hope the 49ers don't get to a field goal position in the playoffs where we miss and we cost us. There, I got it out of my system. I hope that doesn't happen. Let's just hope that doesn't happen. You know what I hope happens this year, though? I hope Brandon Aiyuk gets the respect he deserves. Brandon Aiyuk, man. Brandon Ayuk's going to go crazy. He's training. He had his YouTube video out today. He started YouTube, and it showed his, workout regimen. This guy's ready to go crazy. This guy's ready to go absolutely insane this year. He knows it. He knows this is his contract year. They're about to pick up the 5th-year option. This month or next month, before May. And I think the 49ers are going to go crazy. I think Brandon Ayuk's going to go crazy this year. He's going to make sure the 49ers know they better pay his ass. Yeah, I did jinx it, Carl. I'm sorry. I did. Now you guys can blame me because you guys always blame me. You were right, Flood. It's best to say that during the off season and not the regular. So I got it out my system. I got it out, so I'm not going to say it anymore. I'll probably say it one more live in the next week or so because everybody asks me these questions, and I'm probably going to repeat myself, so I try not to say it too many times. I know on Monday when Larry Krueger asked me, that's the last time I'll say it. That's the last time I'll say it. I'll get it out of my system, but you're right, I jinxed it. So But no, going back to Brandon Aiyuk, I want to talk about Brandon Aiyuk. This guy is absolutely dialed in. 4th year in the league's coming up. I think he's going to make it a priority to show not just the Niners, but everybody in the NFL that he is a top wide receiver. He's a dog, man. He doesn't get enough respect. And I think people are going to be like, holy God, this guy, Brandon Aiyuk, is a dog, man. And I think the 49ers are going to, he's going to make it, he's going to put the ball in the 49ers court and say, hey, look, 2 years in a row, 1,000-yard receiving, pay me my money, run me my check. Run me my check. Brandon Aiyuk's going to go crazy this year. I'm telling you, man, this guy is about to have a monster season. I just feel it. Have you seen how big this guy's gotten over the last couple of years? When he first came into the league, this guy was as skinny as me. He was a tall, lanky, skinny guy. Now, the man, he's a swole-ass mofo. He is a Jesus, man. He's really put in the work over the last few years, so he definitely deserves all the recognition. He's going to get paid, man. Boy's about to get paid. He's going to go crazy this offseason, and he's going to go crazy this season. I'm excited, man. It was cool to see him working out. You know, like I said, he posted on his YouTube, and I was like, man, this guy, you could just see like the determination. This guy's ready to just, he's so quiet. He just goes away. He just goes about his business, and he just goes out there and says, I don't care about anybody else. He's quiet. The silent assassin, I think I posted one time. He's a silent assassin. And I remember he commented, he commented the ninja emoji a couple times. He's like, he liked that. He knows he goes about his business. He don't say nothing. He's quiet. He stays humble, but he goes out there and he's consistent and he just works his ass off, man. He got that dog in, you know. That's why Kyle pushed him. He knew he had it in him, but he got it out of him. So, big time says, I want BA to go off, but not too much so the Niners can afford. Hey, man, the better he does, the better for us. And you know what? The Niners better pay that man next year. They better pay him. And you know, if they don't pay Brandon Aiyuk, if they don't respect him, I won't blame him if he leaves. And again, I don't think any of that's going to happen. That's a lot of speculation. I think the 49ers will make sure they prioritize Brandon. It's just a whole nother year next year. There's a lot of contract manipulation they can do by then. They'll figure it out. But I want Brandon Aiyuk to play his ass off this year. I want him to be an all-pro receiver. I want him to be at least a Pro Bowl, all-pro. I want Brandon Aiyuk to say, listen, I am your damn number one receiver. And not even a slight to Debo. It's no disrespect, because I love Debo. Absolutely love Debo, but they're a whole different type of receiver. And for all the people that say trade Debo, that's crazy talk, because there's a lot of people saying Debo doesn't do nothing. He's terrible. And everybody's hating on Debo. Debo has been absolutely in the lab grinding right now. Carl, let's talk about BA versus Debo, because a lot of people say Debo's out of shape. He don't train, this or that. Debo is one of the hardest workers on this team. I'll tell you what, last year he did not train because you're right. He was going through a contract situation. And it would have been stupid if he got injured trying to overtrain last year before he signed that dotted line. And I don't blame him for anything he went through last year. Offseason, that was his first year going through contract negotiations. He probably didn't train enough during the offseason because he wanted to make sure he came into camp healthy and no injuries. And the unfortunate part is those contracts take a long time. They really take a long time, man. They dragged it out. He wanted to get paid. They should have just done it, but they dragged it out. And he didn't come into camp 100% in the best shape. This season, he's posting. He's been training in Arizona for the last 2 weeks with Christian Kirk, Shi Smith, former Carolina Gamecocks receiver out. He's training, man. He's putting in the work, and I can't wait for Debo. I think Debo's going to have another big year. BA Debo. Who's going to have a better year this year? I think BA, but I think Debo still puts together an absolute amazing season. I think BA is just going to have this masterclass season. Touchdowns, who's going to have more? That's hard to say, but I think BA has 11. I think Debo has maybe 9. Because you got to remember, he gets running touchdowns. He gets passing touchdowns. He's going to have a total of 9. I think BA has at least 11 receptions. The guy's a stud. Brandon Aiyuk's route running is phenomenal. Do I think they both get 1K yards? Oof. Oh man, I would love it, but I don't think so because there's just too many mouths to feed. You got Christian McCaffrey, right? He's gonna get a lot of carries. You got George Kittle. You got to feed him the ball. You got Debo. You got Aiyuk. I don't know. I don't think they do. I think Brandon Ayuk's gonna have more receiving yards. He'll probably get 1,100. I think Debo comes close. I think he'll have like 700 yards receiving. I think he'll have 400 yards rushing. That's a lot. That's 1,100 all scrimmage yards. He does things a different way. CMC is going to probably get like 1,500 yards all purpose. George Kittle probably could get like 800 yards. If they're all healthy, that's what they could do. But I think Brandon Ayuk's going to explode this year. So we'll see. My man Rohan in the building. What's up, Rohan? What's up, man? Shout out to my boy Rohan. Always grinding. Appreciate you. Good to see you in here. Good to see you. I'll ask Rohan this question. Do you think Debo and Brandon Ayuk both get 1,000 yards this year? You guys answer. You tell me. What do you guys think? I don't think they both do, but I think they'll both have really good seasons. As long as they both stay healthy, I think both of those guys are primed to have a big year. I feel like Debo's primed to have a monster bounce back because everybody's doubting the guy. You know, when Debo gets doubted, you know he sees all this stuff on social media. You know he sees people ripping his name. This boy's about to come out here and cook and prove everybody wrong. So, yeah, my boy Rohan says no. He says no. We'll see. He also picked the Eagles to beat the 49ers. I ain't never going to let him live that one down. Nia says, if you could keep one, who'd you keep? Now, that's a tough question. Slatty says, you need that warm welcome like Rohan. Okay, Slatty, welcome to the show. Appreciate you, my boy. No, Rohan and me, we go way back. We went to training camp last year, like every day. So I really got to know Rohan, man, and he's a cool dude, you know. So all of you guys are cool, but definitely Rohan's like a he's like a son to me, man. I really do feel that he's a good young buck, and I see him grinding every day. So I respect Rohan a lot. So trying to get you killed. Nah, man, you my boy. But answering the question, if I could keep one, I don't even want to think about a team without both of them. But if I had to keep one, oh man, you know what? I'm gonna pick Debo because that's my guy. Like me and him, he's followed me for years. Like personally, on a personal level, I've talked to Debo many times. Like I'm gonna pick Debo over Brandon Ayuk, and it's not because I think Debo is better or whatever. It's just on a personal level. Like I've connected with Debo a little bit more than BA, but I absolutely love I love Brandon Ayuk, man. So I'm gonna go just because personally, I I've got more history with Debo, so I'm gonna take Debo over BA. But I absolutely love Brandon Ayuk. I think he's gonna go crazy this year, and I think he's ready to just prove everybody that he is a top 10 receiver in this league. I mean, look at you put Brandon Ayuk on another team. You put him on Kansas City. You put him in on another team like the Bills. Can you imagine what he would do on those teams with a consistent passing game? He'd at least have 1,500 yards, at least. So, I love them both, though. That's such a hard question, man. I love Debo. He's been that guy. And you know me and Debo, we go way back. So, So, yeah, I got love for Debo, just like I got love for Jimmy Ward and certain players. You know, if they show me love, I'm going to show them that love back. So, but I absolutely love Brandon Ayuk, and I think he's going to be amazing this year. But if I had to choose between the two, my heart goes with Debo. That's my guy. Good question. That's tough, man. That's tough. You can't put me in a spot like that. But, yeah, let's see. Let's open it up for a couple questions here. We talked about really what there was about today, the kicker situation. We addressed that. And, the dates of training camp. That's pretty much the news of today. Other than that, wasn't much news. Obviously, we've addressed everything else this offseason. But let's take a few minutes to do a few questions, and then I'll end it a little early tonight. And Nia says, sorry. No, don't say sorry. That was an absolutely great question, but, tough one. That's a tough one. So, Young Jay says, do you think Debo resigns after his contract is over? That's a good question. You know what? If Brandon Ayuk has the season we think he is and he's going to go get paid, I think that he's going to take over as that leader of the wide receivers. So I think they might actually let Debo walk after his contract's over in 2 years. So No, I don't think so. I don't think he resigns with the 49ers. I think he'll chase the bag and he'll go to another team and then go where he's gonna get paid more. And it's not even gonna be that the 49ers won't want to bring him back. It's gonna be how many mouths do they have to feed. At that point, they're gonna be paid Bosa a lot of money and a couple other people. But at that point, you're gonna have to transition from Debo's contract to Brandon Aiyuk. And Brandon Aiyuk potentially could have a bigger contract than Debo with the way he is as a wide receiver, pure wide receiver. If Brandon Aiyuk has the season that we think he can, he's going to get paid more than Debo. And I think that he becomes your franchise wide receiver. So then it segues Debo to leave. And I don't want to think about that because I love Debo, but to answer the question, no. I don't think he resigns with the Niners. So how many Pro Bowl years does Kittle left have in him? I think 2 more. 2 more. VZ says, who's going to be the new boombox guy? I actually know the answer, and I'm not blowing smoke. I can't tell you. I know who the boombox guy is. Per source, I know. I'm not going to say it. I know you guys think I'm capping. I'm gassing you, but I know what's going to happen with that situation. I can't tell you. I do know, though. I do know. I do know. I can't tell you. I can't wait till y'all find out, though. That's all I know. That's all I know. I can't tell you. But let's answer another question that I can answer. I can't tell you. Malachi says, Raj, what do you think? There's some kind of speculation that Trent Williams will retire, and if so, would it make sense Feliciano playing guard and moving Burford to left tackle? Oh, I can't tell you. Is he a vibe? He's an absolute vibe. You'll see. It's actually 2 people that are narrowing it down. I can't say anymore. Let's get to this question. Trent Williams, I mean, obviously he's going to retire soon. Eventually he'll retire. In my opinion, I think he might have 1 more, maybe 2 years left in him. I think this might be his last year. I don't know. I think this might be the last year of Trent Williams, if we're being honest with ourselves, because he did kind of talk about it this offseason that he's taken a toll through the career. He's got to start looking at the future, of his life without football. Obviously, he's coming back this year, thankfully. There was that rumor earlier in the offseason that he's going to retire. I don't think he retires until maybe next year or the year after. I think he's got 1 to 2 more years. But the 49ers do need to figure out what the hell they're going to do with left tackle when he leaves and the right tackle situation. So Feliciano, I think he can play guard, and you're looking into that for the future. Maybe he does come in and play guard. Maybe you do slide Burford to tackle, either right or left. But I still think the 49ers need to go and draft a tackle in the draft, a quality tackle. Go get a guy like Freeland or Mock that you can build this team around, because you can play one of them at right tackle, or you could transition them to left tackle, especially Freeland. Freeland can play left tackle. Maybe you play him at right for a year. And then you have Colton McKivitz, who can kind of swing around, and he could be a solid swing tackle. Or you can move – if McKivitz plays good this year, you could put him at right tackle, and then you got, the guy that you draft who can maybe transition to Trent's spot. So either way, whatever happens, I think the 49ers need to draft a great tackle in the draft, like a guy they can build for the future, because you don't want to get to the point where Trent Williams leaves and then you don't have a backup plan, like – it's happened before with certain players. But when Trent came in, it was like the perfect storm, because Joe Staley retired, and you're like, what the heck just happened? Like, I remember that was like the craziest 30 minutes all time, because it was Trent Williams retiring, and I was like, what's going on? I was like in tears. I was like, what? And then like 20 minutes later, boom, breaking news. The 49ers traded for Trent Williams, and they traded to the Washington Redskins, a team that Snyder had, hate for the 49ers because of the Shanahans. Trade him for nothing. A 3rd and a 5th round pick, that's nothing. They go get Trent Williams, and they replace Joe Staley with a absolute legend. You lose a Hall of Famer, you get a Hall of Famer. Unless something like that happens, they absolutely need to get a good tackle in this draft, because I don't think you can do what the 49ers did a couple years back when you lost Joe Staley and replace him with Trent Williams. So good question. I think they got to draft a guy. Because, again, Burford's playing good at guard. Why mess around with him? If he can establish himself as a good guard, a guard can play in the league for like 10 years. He can at least be with the 49ers for 4, 5, 6 years if he becomes a quality player. So I don't even want to mess with him at guard because he looked good at guard. Let him get better at that position. That's my take on it. Slatty says Trent's got 4 more years in him. I don't know about 4 more years, but if he gets that ring, he says he might retire. If Trent Williams gets that ring in a year or two, he's done. He's walking off on top. He's going out in the sunset. I 100% agree. Carl says not many left tackles after the season. You're right. You're absolutely right. That's a hard position to fill because those guys get paid a lot of money, an absolute ton of money. And the thing about the Niners is they got lucky with Trent Williams because he was coming off a season where he didn't play. You know, he walked away from the game. He had obviously go through cancer treatment and everything, and he was dealing with that. And they didn't know if he was gonna come back to the league. And he didn't want to play for Washington, so he was like, if I do come back, I don't want to play with this team anymore. He was done with them. 49ers got so lucky with Trent Williams because it was like a perfect storm. Okay, he's leaving Washington. He's disgruntled. He wants to go to another team. 49ers are losing Joe Staley. You replace him with Trent, and it was like, man, you got him for nothing. There's no way they're getting a quality left tackle for nothing. It's not happening again. They got it. They lucked out. Yeah, David, we have to get him a ring. You're absolutely right, man. And then this is what Throwback says. He says, unless they want to trade for a left tackle. But the good left tackles, you're not going to be able to get them for what you got for Trent Williams. You got for pennies on the dollar. I remember that trade, and I remember sitting there going, they didn't even trade anything for Trent. I was like, well, how did that happen? If they trade for one of these top left tackles in the league, you're trading a lot. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, we'll see. The good news is, ladies and gentlemen, Trent Williams ain't going anywhere this year. He's here to stay. We need to win him a ring. You're absolutely correct about that, guys. That we need to win him a ring. So yeah, this is an absolutely good statement, Slatty. He says, I feel like Debo's market will drop in 2 years if he doesn't perform like he did a few years ago. You're right. He has to, and Debo knows that. He knows he has to come back with the vengeance. He knows he has to play good because last year wasn't a good year for him. He did have a lot of injuries. And again, what did I say? I said I felt like he didn't get a real chance to train last year. And a lot of people are down on Debo because of last year. But the way I see it is he really didn't get to train, because of the contract situation. It really hindered him. And I think he knows that. That's why I think he's going to really bounce back this year. Because if he wants to get paid, he knows. Without a doubt, you have to work. You got to show your potential. You got to show that you can be the guy. And Debo knows he can still be that guy. But if he wants to get paid, he's got to go prove it. So you're right. If Debo doesn't have a good year like he did the year before, his value goes down. But I think he knows that in order to get paid, he's got to go out there and prove himself. And the year before, the amount of yards he had, his season was just, that was one for the ages. That was such a good year, man. And he knew it. And he knew he was going to get paid that year. So we'll see. And that's how I feel about Brandon Aiyuk this year. He knows that he's on the cusp of getting paid like crazy. So he knows he has to perform this year and go have an even better year this year. And if you look at Brandon Ayuk's career, every single year has improved. Yardage, touchdowns, everything. He's improved every year. And if he goes out this year and improves over 1,000 yards last year, the guy's about to get paid crazy. And if the 49ers don't want to pay him the money, a lot of teams will. I can't wait to see Brandon Aiyuk and Debo go wild this year. It's going to be a good duo. I'm excited. So we'll see. Big time. This is our Achilles heel for the last 3 playoff runs has been the O-line. He was hoping that they put a bigger emphasis on beefing it up. It's tough because they do have players that overachieve. Like last year, everybody was right in this offensive line. They were still a top 10 unit in the league, but they weren't good enough in critical junction. And a lot of that, again, you had Mike McGlinchey, who was your starting right tackle, and in big situations, he faltered. He had big penalties. Good run blocker, but he just wasn't elite. He didn't live up to that top 10 pick status. So maybe McKivitz is better, but again, they're going with the cheaper route because they do have a lot of players that are getting paid, on this team. And Nick Bosa is a guy that they absolutely have to pay. So they might have to take a little, cut some quarters. I like Feliciano. I don't know if he's going to be a dog, a starter. He's definitely going to be able to replace that Dan Brunskill role, but I think he could start. I think he could compete. McKivitz is the biggest wild card. I like Burford. He was a rookie last year. I feel like that's what people got to realize. He's only going to get bigger, stronger, learn the techniques a little bit better. Burford should be even nicer this year. He was a rookie, and he started, and he was quality. Aaron Banks, same thing. Last year was the first year he started, and he was a dog. He's only going to get better. So I feel like on the guard spots, we're actually really good. Jake Brendel, his first year starting last year, not bad for a first time starting as a center. I think he'll get better. And also the Feliciano guy, he's going to push him. It's going to be a competition in camp. Let the best man win. It is truly the right tackle spot where it's a wild card. And I do agree with you big time that I wish they would have went bigger at right tackle, but you had to fix that D line because Javon Kinlaw is not it. They had to improve that area, and that was to me a bigger need. And they went and got Hargrave. You made your defense even better. They still can go draft a quality, like a day one starter at right tackle. That's how good some of these right tackles are in the draft. So I'm not saying I don't even think it's over yet. I still think they can address this through the draft. They put themselves in good position to be able to address that spot. But I do agree they could have beefed it up a little bit more. But you can't blow everything in free agency. I still think they're in a good position. Got to get better depth. I mean, you got guys like Nick Zakel and Jason Poe who we like, but we haven't seen them yet. They got to go out there and develop. And you got Jalen Moore. We need a better depth piece than Jalen Moore. So they got to continue to stack depth, but they still got a chance to improve that right tackle spot. Now, if they go get a dog at right tackle in the draft, Colton McKivitz is your swing tackle. Now, that would be a great problem to have, a great depth piece to have. Your depth looks a little bit better. And if Feliciano is a starter and Burford's a backup, your depth is still great like that. Or vice versa. If Burford's a starter and Feliciano is a backup, your depth is looking really good. So I think they're in good position right now. So that's the way I see it. Val says, when is Hufunga's contract up? Well, he's still on his rookie contract. He's entering year 3. So he's got 2 more years on his rookie deal. So he's got 2 more years there. Good question. Randy says, one great year for Debo. Hurt way too often. Should have traded him for a haul. I mean, you could look at it that way, definitely. But we don't know really what teams we're looking at to offer him. And, 49ers, they do so good with Debo in this lineup. Like, he is built for this offense. I know he gets hurt a lot, but when he's healthy, man, he's like the ignition. He's like the key to this offense. I still think that he can continue to be a great player. Because look at the playoffs, man. Without Debo, it's a whole different team. In that Seahawks game, he took over. Debo can take over games for this team. I don't know. They definitely could have got a haul for Debo, but he's such a weapon on this team. And you want to have as many weapons on this team. Last year, they could have traded him. Obviously, they could have. But he was still better than anybody they could have drafted at that point at wide receiver. Maybe Garrett Wilson, right? Because that's who the Jets could have, that's who they took, basically. And he became, rookie of the year. So, I mean, it's hard to say, hindsight's 2020, but I still think Debo's a dog, man, on this team. People just overlook him because of the injuries. But, man, when he is on and he is just on his game, he is so hard to stop. So, yeah, you're right, though. I agree, Randy. His style of play, definitely not easy to sustain. And that's why I think in 2 more years, when his contract's up, the 49ers won't bring him back because of that very reason. That is an absolutely good point to bring up because he is a liability because of his style of play. But so is George Kittle. And I love George Kittle. And he's so important to his team because he can do so much blocking, catches. He's a leader. And that's why those guys are valuable. It's not just about their production on the field, it's how they are in terms of this locker room. Debo, Kittle, those guys are so important to the complexity of this team, to the chemistry of this team. So, yeah, of course, they do have injury history, but they're so important to the makeup of this team. It's tough to lose those guys. You don't want to restart because they're leaders, just like Jimmy Ward. We're going to lose Jimmy Ward, and we are going to lose a leader in this clubhouse, and it is going to be a little bit of a transition. But, if they are going to, again, I think Debo, after 2 years, he's gone because of that reason, because of the injury status. You don't want to keep paying a guy that could be a liability. So I do see where you're coming from on that. My man Slatty says, did I tell you that Tank Dell liked my story when I mentioned the 49ers draft? Let's get him. He's a good player. Yeah, Debo definitely is a hybrid. Big Time says, I can't believe Kittle is already in his 30s. It's time flies, man. I remember when he was just a first year in the league, kid out of Iowa, 5th-round pick with potential. And then I remember the year he broke all those records, and he was our damn offense. I was like, man, that guy broke out that year. Nick Mullins slinging it to him, and now he's just been in the league for so many years, and he's gonna be 30 years old. Time flies, man. Hell of a player. I love George Kittle. Absolute amazing, amazing human being and football player. So good stuff, man. Yeah, we'll take one or two more questions here. We'll call it a night. Appreciate you guys for hopping in. Appreciate you guys for liking the content, always viewing the content, and always giving me support. So thank you guys. Friday night, you could have been anywhere else, but you're here with me. So I thank you for that. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe and all that good stuff the YouTubers say. So we'll take two more questions here, and we'll call it a night. Young Jay says Bosa already 5 years in the league. It's crazy, man. Time flies. Time just flies. You know what's crazy? Nick Bosa is now in his prime of his career. He's about to get paid. Paid. My man Carl Thomas says this has nothing to do with the Niners, but how about Jimmy G? That guy's, you know what? The content, Jimmy G content is just, it's gotten so funny since he went to the Vegas Raiders, huh? Like, we got the strippers offering free sex for life. We got dudes calling him handsome out there. He's like, I don't know what to tell him. Oh, man. Good luck to Jimmy. Good luck to Jimmy with Vegas is like the perfect place he could have went to. Because, they call him porn star Jimmy. And now he's in Vegas. Oh, my gosh. Surrounded by strippers. I love him, man. You know what? I just hope Jimmy does good in Vegas. I got no hatred towards him. I got respect for the guy. I hope he does good with the Raiders, man. He's home, David says. I hope he succeeds, man. Shout out to Jimmy, man. This is funny. It's funny. That's so funny, man. That's hilarious. I see the Jimmy stuff, man. It's classic. Young says he will do well. He always does. I hope he does. I hope he stays healthy, man. I hope he stays healthy and he does good. I got no hatred towards Jimmy. A lot of fans they have animosity towards him. Couldn't stay healthy. It is what it is. I hope he stays healthy and he wins games with the Raiders. That's all I want, man. He did nothing wrong to me. He never did anything bad to me. So I don't know why, people are at outrage of him. Shout out to Jimmy G, man. I hope he has a lot of good times with Vegas and everybody out there. So he just has to stay healthy, man. A lot of my friends, because, I'm from Vegas, my friends are hyped up. I got a lot of people out there that, live out there, and they're in the nightlife industry and all that. They're so excited. They know their sales are about to skyrocket. So good for him. Good for him. Let's hope he stays healthy out there. That was his downfall here, man. That guy just could not stay healthy. The quarterbacks in general for the 49ers cannot stay healthy. Let's just pray that our quarterbacks stay healthy. No matter who it is, I just want them to stay healthy. You know what? We almost did a whole hour without even talking about quarterbacks. What a show tonight. We finally didn't talk about quarterbacks tonight. Thank God, man. Peter Parker says, thank you two for no noties. Yeah, me and YouTube got this beef. I'm beefing with YouTube, by the way. But anyways, I appreciate you guys for hopping in and checking out the content. Again, next week we'll be busy again. Monday, Larry Krueger. Wednesday with Wayne Breezy and Aaron from 49ers First Takes. We got 2 shows on Wednesday for you. The R&B show will be back Wednesday. And then Monday with Larry at 1 p.m. Pacific. Hope you guys tune into all that stuff. I'll try to stay on top of things as much as I can this weekend. I'll be a little busy, but I'm always busy. So you know the vibes. I appreciate you guys. And let's hope you have a good weekend. And thank you, as always, for hopping in. I might hop on Instagram a little later. But again, appreciate you guys. Have a good night. Thank you for all the support. And have a good weekend.